At San Jose National High School in the Philippines, a 14-year-old and his 15-year-old accomplice hid in a bathroom until the morning flag ceremony ended. When they stepped out into the hallway, they were carrying firearms. The younger boy fired over 30 rounds into the corridor. Investigators looking for a motive didn't find a personal grudge or a history of bullying. Instead, the boys claimed they were on a mission. They were mimicking the mechanics of violent, sandbox-style mobile games, apps where virtual violence is the primary way to progress. The emulation was specific. The 14-year-old wore a t-shirt featuring the logo of the band KMFDM, the same symbol worn by one of the shooters during the 1999 Columbine High School massacre. Their private group chats revealed a logic that had become completely untethered from reality. The two boys explicitly told each other that because they were minors, the law could not touch them. To them, real-world consequences simply didn't exist. This incident highlights a growing friction in how young people weigh reality. The line between a gamified digital task and a permanent physical action has started to blur. For millions of years, mammalian brains have developed through a single, consistent mechanism, the play-based childhood. Physical play is how a brain learns to calibrate risk. Navigating a playground requires negotiating rules and managing social friction in real time. When a child falls, the scraped knee provides immediate, undeniable feedback about physical limits. Common sense is a learned skill. It requires the resistance and the consequences of the physical world to turn a child's natural curiosity into a functioning moral and practical compass. That baseline began to shift in the 1990s. Spurred by a fear of stranger danger, parents across the English-speaking world pulled their children indoors, effectively ending the era of unsupervised outdoor free play. Social psychologist Jonathan Haidt argues that this created a massive developmental vacuum. We overprotected children in the real world, assuming that if they were inside, they were safe. Then, in the early 2010s, high-speed data and front-facing cameras made the smartphone ubiquitous. The isolation of the bedroom disappeared. While we still kept children physically indoors, we granted them unrestricted access to a digital frontier managed by algorithms. We traded physical overprotection for total digital underprotection. Replacing the physical curriculum of a normal childhood with a screen-based one is the sociological equivalent of taking a generation to grow up on Mars. Today, the average teenager spends between 5 and 9 hours every day looking at a screen. That time is a direct withdrawal from the bank of physical experience. Social media acts as an experience blocker. It removes the shared laughter, eye contact, and physical presence required to build resilience and empathy, replacing them with a performance for an invisible audience. Psychologist Yuko Munakata notes that a child's development is like a hurricane, a massive force shaped by broad ecological influences. The smartphone injects algorithmic incentives directly into that storm. Thousands of digital nodes connect to the child, shifting focus from family toward web metrics. These reward loops prioritize shock value, training the brain to seek the immediate hit of a like above all else. Without the friction of the real world, digital incentives can successfully override a child's ability to distinguish between a virtual mission and a physical crime. Most parents and teens recognize the system is toxic, but the fear of being the only one to disconnect keeps them trapped. It's a coordination problem. To break that trap, Haidt proposes 3 new norms. First, delay the smartphone until high school. Use flip phones for basic communication. Second, no social media before age 16. The third norm is a digital detox for the middle of the day. Schools must become strictly phone-free zones, giving students 7 hours of guaranteed focus and face-to-face interaction. A verbal policy is insufficient. Schools are turning to physical barriers, like locking pouches or dedicated phone lockers, to place the device beyond immediate reach. We have to move past individual willpower. Solving this requires a systemic change in how we structure the environments where children grow up. Finally, we have to reintroduce unsupervised free play. We have to allow children to experience the real world without a chaperone or a camera. If we want a generation to understand that pulling a trigger isn't an online mission, we have to bring them back from Mars and let them experience the physical consequences of Earth.